Alright, I'm back with more Soju in review. I've had some requests for some other shows that I was supposed to do like last week, but I didn't. So, today's Soju, just gonna use just the fresh flavored. And for those of you who don't know what Soju is, it's just like a Korean liquor. But it slaps pretty hard. 17.2%. Usually the fresh flavor, I would usually mix it with like beer and soju bomb it, but I don't have none, so this is what we got. Alright, so today I'm gonna do the review on, I said I wasn't gonna do like shows and stuff right away, but I guess since I waited so long and this one was asked for a lot, that I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. So I did Behind Her Eyes. I got through that one pretty quick though, because it was so good. And I felt like real smart, because I figured out the whole thing by like episode 3 or so. Like I was like, I know where this is going, I know what happened. Because as soon as they showed like the little, oh, by the way, if this is your first Soju in review, even though there's only fucking 2, this is spoiler heaven. Spoiler heaven. So if you haven't seen it, because I'm going to talk about Behind Her Eyes, I watched 2 movies. I watched I Care a Lot, crazy, and I watched another movie called The Endless, and all these are on Netflix, but spoilers. Okay, now I'm going to continue. So, by episode 3, I had figured this shit out. So, the main character, and I wrote the names down because you know I don't be remembering shit, but Adele was, there was no point in the movie where like I was on her side. I was on her side because she crazy and I like that and I thought that was cute. But like I knew from the beginning that she was probably nuts. And even though I thought David was like a crybaby and he was being kind of weird, I was still like, I knew he wasn't in the wrong. So that part. But like from the beginning, you could just tell obviously that something was off, which was I guess the point. But my girl Louise, she made me mad throughout the whole thing because she kept going. I'm like, maybe I don't know what's different about her, but baby, this wasn't none of our business. This was none of your business, and you kept prying. And now look at you. Now look at you. But yeah, that shit was none of your business. First of all, after you found out about you know him and the wife and all that stuff, and y'all was working together, you was still wilding. I mean, whatever, I guess, but it kept getting worse. When she found out who Adele was, you already knew about Adele. She ran into you. You should have known that shit was weird in the first place, but you went along with it, and then you like became friends. Like I believed in their friendship. Like I thought they was cool, but I also knew that she wasn't shit. I really wanted them to be friends, but I guess you already knew that both of them wasn't shit in the first place because you knew what the motives were in a sense. But anyway, moving forward, once she started doing that little magic finger thing with the notebook, I knew she was a lost cause. As soon as she realized that shit actually worked and it did something to her and she was seeing shit, that was the last time she should have messed with that. I don't understand why she kept going. That'd have been it for me. And not only would that have been it for me, I wasn't playing with that magic shit no more. I wasn't talking to her no more. Don't message me. No, we're not going to the gym. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And also, I have to quit my fucking job because obviously y'all are into some weird shit. And it's not just her. It's him too. It's got to be the whole household. I don't give a fuck. So, cut them off. She was tripping. But anyway, let me tell you where I figured everything out. So for some reason, when I saw that they did that little floaty spirit thing, I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, this isn't something that I expected to see in a show like this. You know what I mean? But I went with that. But they kept showing like the flashbacks with Adele and Rob when they were back at the wherever the fuck they were, that place. So they kept flashing back to that, but there was one specific part, and it seemed like a kind of unnecessary thing to add, but at the same time, it's how I figured everything out, and I was like, it was necessary. This actually did play an important part. It was the part where the nurse is like, you need to get down from that tree, blah, 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 and then Rob hops down, and she's like, you need to stop messing with Adele, you know she got a fiance, and he was like, I don't care, I like dudes. Right there, I was like, that part was actually important. Like, they didn't add that part in here just to be inclusive. No, they put that part in here for a reason. And I put two and two together. I was like, okay, so she has this out-of-body experience and this dude is gay. And I was like, but something is weird about Adele, because they also showed the part where when Adele was in there, she was in there because something happened to her parents, right, with the fire, but he was in there because he was addicted to drugs. And then when Adele, like, is in the actual house, like, with Rob or whatnot, and she starts shooting up heroin between her toes in that box, I was like, that's him. That's him. I'm not certain how it's him, but I know it's him, you know? So I was like, maybe they switch bodies or some shit, but whatever. So after I saw that, I put all that shit together, and I was like, this is what's gonna happen. So on like the last 2 episodes or something, I'm sitting on the couch with my girl and we watching it, and I pause it and I'm like, you have any theories? And she like, I got a few. And I was like, well, great, cause I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna blow this whole thing out of the water because I fucking know what's gonna happen. And guess what? I was fucking right. I was right. It was him. The one part that I wish I could have went back and watched was the first time that Adele's doing that out-of-body experience and she's watching Louise. Like, I wish I could have went back to that, and I could have, obviously, because I'm watching this from, it's a mirror, I'm watching this from home, but I wish I would have went back or noticed it at the beginning what color the aura was, because I started thinking about it and I was like, I'm pretty certain if I think back on it, it was blue. And I was like, that's him because he's blue, she's pink. Wild. Anyway, the show just wasn't what I expected at all. I don't know what I was expecting, but that's not what I was expecting. I just kind of thought it was going to be like your regular psychological thriller, but it turned out to be more than that, like with some cool magic and shit. But in conclusion, don't take people's magic journals and do their weird rituals. I feel like that's not something that should have to be said. I feel like people should know that, but look at Louise. That little boy knows damn well that is not his mama. That is not his mama. And he did it. And then David's dumbass. Like, I don't know how he don't know. I don't know how he don't know. Cause when Louise showed up to pick up pick up Adam from the daddy's house, the way her hair was laid down, I was like, yeah, that's not her no more. You. Anyway, Behind Her Eyes was awesome. If you didn't watch it, you just sat here throughout my entire spoiler spill, I would still say go watch it because it's good shit. Another thing on Netflix was I Care a Lot. And it was awesome. So this one, again, I didn't know what it was going to be. For a moment there, I thought it was kind of going to be a comedy. I was playing on my phone for like the first like 10 minutes or something. Erica was getting mad at me. Well, she wasn't getting mad at me. She wasn't paying no mind. But I kept pausing it because I was like, I'm not listening. We gotta rewind it. So I wasn't paying attention. But the more I was listening while I was probably fucking around on TikTok, I got a lot more interested in it, because I guess like in the beginning I was like, eh. But then I started hearing stuff that made me like, what'd she say? So anyway, I'll say at least if you are also like a movie watcher, like any millennial who plays on their phone, like give it a second. Give it a second to warm up. And when it warms up, it warmed up. Like, that shit was fucking crazy. So this one, main character's name was Marla. There it is. Marla, and she is a scammer, but she's like in the old folks home scamming people. Like, maybe this is a thing. I don't know. I remember my grandpa used to be like, he was in a home. He was only there like temporarily. I'm gonna go off on a little tangent, but he was only there like temporarily. He would go like during the day, and he would go and hang out with his old people friends. They play old people games. I don't know. I guess that's what they do in old people homes. They play bingo and shit and stuff like that. And we would, at the end of the day, around 3 or 4 or something, we would come pick him up. And, you know, we would sneak him like some Snickers or something. I stopped feeding my grandpa Snickers because he'd be in the back choking on the peanuts. And I was like, I'm not going to be the one to take out my grandpa. Oh. So I started feeding him Milky Ways. And he liked that. He didn't care what kind of candy it was, as long as it was candy. And then you give him some like McDonald's or something. Because my grandma would always be fussing. And she'd be like, stop feeding him. And I was like, but he'd be hungry. So anyway, that's not the point. But so they be scamming old people in the movie. And they would like take over and become like that old person's guardian, and they were in it. There was like a whole ring of them. The doctors and shit were in on it, and they would be like, this person is not capable of taking care of themselves. So they would write them like a little doctor's note or some shit, and then they would put them in a home. They would take their phone so they couldn't contact nobody. They would make sure that they didn't really have any relatives or anything close to them. So they found this one lady who had no next of kin or nothing like that, and they was like, we gonna get her. So they got the paper signed. The court made the lady, the Marla, the guardian of this lady whose name is Jennifer, and they put her in a home, lock her up. Well, she fucked up. She stuff start. I guess Jennifer keeps trying to get out of the home, and like she's sane. She's old, but she's sane, and they don't realize that the lady that they put in the home is actually like a mob boss's mom, which was wild. So they're like, hey, you don't know who you got locked up in there. Like, yeah, she's like not really documented. Her name is fake. It's like Jennifer something, but her whole identity is fake. But they start coming after her, and that shit is wild. And also, like, her girlfriend in Marla's girlfriend, she is fine. What was her name? Fran. We called her Frankie, even though somewhere in the movie she says, don't call me Frankie, and then we proceeded to call her Frankie throughout the rest of the film. That's what we referred to her as, is Frankie. But she's fine. But yeah, I'm gonna highly recommend this movie because this shit is fun. It's got who was it? The guy that plays Roman. I don't remember what his actual name is. Sorry, Game of Thrones fans, but I don't. Oh, Peter Dinklage. Am I right? Tyrion. I really want to say I'm right. I could look it up, but I'll let you guys just roast me in the comments if I'm wrong. So, watch it. That shit is crazy. And it had me confused. It had us both confused because I was really rooting for Fran. I was like, girl, you need to get up out this shit. Because she is, like, completely nuts. She doesn't fear shit. She didn't care. Like, when they came in talking about some, look, you gonna come up missing if you don't let this lady go, that was enough for me. They killed the doctor that was writing the notes. That would have been enough for me. They came in, they said, we'll give you $500,000. No, she asked for $500. No, she asked for $5 million. They was like, we'll give you like $300,000, $500,000 if you let this lady out and go about your business. And she was like, nah, you can give me $5 million. And then I let her out. But she did not give a shit. And shit kept happening. And they kept coming for her. And she just happened to survive. But she kept playing with the mob. She was playing with the fucking mob. The mob. Anyway, I was rooting for her. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, it's like two bad guys chasing the bad guys. The mob guy is a bad guy, but she's even worse because she was in the wrong. Marla was in the wrong. You stole this man's mama. All he wanted to do was give her the fucking macaroons. The macaroons. He stole the mama. Scamming old people. But I guess she ended up getting hers. Y'all, y'all should drink more soju. I got a lot in there too. I gotta go back down to Georgia as soon as I can. You know how hard it is to find soju in North Carolina? Like, I can get like soju in like Greensboro, and I could go to like Cary, but the kind that they got isn't really the good shit. So I gotta drive like 4 hours to Duluth, Georgia, just to go to the World ABC store and buy it. And it's like $3, $3, $4, $5. That's pretty rangy, but you know, close enough. $3, $4, $5 just for. Anyway, I understand you got to make your money off of it, but they got all the good flavors and shit. Anyway, trying to keep focus. The edges are getting blurry. The last movie that I watched was completely off from the other things that we watched, because I guess the other two things were similar in my opinion. But this one was called The Endless. And this one was about two brothers who escaped. I won't say escaped because it's kind of like they left voluntarily. And you know, this like death cult, alien death cult, I think is. Alien death cult is what they think they referred to it as. But I'm just gonna recommend it. I don't want to spoil this one. I'm gonna let you guys watch it. I will watch it soon though, because I think it leaves Netflix soon. I think it's off of Netflix sometime in March. So that one I want to recommend, because that one is actually really good. A lot of stuff I didn't expect, but it kind of made me anxious, because the kind of way it ends is kind of like Inception-y, where it just really stresses me out. I'm like, are they gonna make it? Are they not gonna make it? And I'm still mad about Inception too, y'all, because till this day, he is still in there. And that coin is still spinning. That terrifies me. Anyway, those are all the movies that I watched. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys if you guys are hanging in there with me and watching these, because they're fun to watch. I can't make them all the time. Like, I know I'm a drinker and I enjoy drinking and stuff, but you know, it'd be hard. I can't do this. I can't do it every day. So maybe once a week or every 2 weeks or something like that, you know. But recommend some more movies for me. I will watch them. You can recommend shows, any type of shows. I like K-dramas. You can hit me up with. Oh, look, it done changed to my like travel pictures. But anyway, K-dramas. I like animes. What I'm not a big fan of is comedies. I am not a big fan of comedies. So if you would like to recommend some that you think would actually get me and I'll actually watch, recommend them. I'm gonna try. I don't know why I don't like them. I just don't recommend them. All right, thanks. I do appreciate it. Like I said, drink more soju. I hope you guys keep watching. Watch me next time. Okay, bye.